In this video, we're going to learn how to respond to the TurboStream format. What we would like to achieve is that when creating a new article here, we would like to serve specific HTML based on the format of the request. So if we have a look at the post request here and we look at the headers of the request, we can see that the request was made with a special accept header and that this accept header contains this VND TurboStream media type. VND stands for vendor, so there are some kind of official media types like we all know application/JSON for example, but you can create your own. And when you create your own, they will start with this VND for vendor string here. So what we would like to do is that when the request has this accept header, then we want to render some specific kind of HTML. We don't want to render the whole view like we are currently doing, and as we can see, it doesn't work as expected. So let's first have a look at the documentation for the respond to method. So the respond to method is here to help us decide which kind of view we are going to render based on the format of the request. So if we were building a person application here, we could say that if the user wants to have HTML, we are going to render HTML for him. Same goes for JS and same goes for XML. We will talk about this funny syntax a bit later in the course, but for now, let's scroll a bit in the documentation and we will see a very interesting line. This line is here and it says that if we need to use a MIME type, which isn't supported by default, we can register our own in an initializer. So let's do that within our engine. We can create an initializer and we're going to call it turbo.media type. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to register a custom MIME type. And this custom MIME type is this one. So we're going to say that when the media type is this, so this vendor TurboStream HTML media type, we are going to name this media type TurboStream. And now if I go to the articles controller, on the create method, I should be able to respond to a specific format. And I can say that when the format is HTML, I can redirect to the articles path. And when the format is TurboStream, what I want is just for now to check that everything is wired up correctly. So I'm going to say render body. It works. And I'm just going to restart my server because we created an initializer. And let's now create one more article and save it. And as we can see, in the response body, we get it works. So everything seems to be wired up properly. And now what we want to do is to create some views. So I'm going to remove this and we are going to create a custom view together. So we are going to go in test dummy app views articles and we are going to create the create.turbostream.erb view. So within this view we are going to say that what we want is to empty this form and to prepend the created article to the list of articles. So we're going to do this by hand now, and later in the tutorial we'll see how we will be able to improve that to generate HTML automatically, but it's good to have a clear understanding of what it does under the hood. So let's start with the first part. Here what we want to do is to take this turbo frame here and to update its content to some empty content, right? So what we're going to say is that we can create some turbo stream. We can say that the action is update and that the content or the template here is an empty template. So here we go. So this TurboStream HTML element is actually a custom element that will be understood by the Turbo JavaScript library. And I also have to specify a target here. Target is equal to new article. And what the Turbo JavaScript library will say is that it will pick this target here and update its content with the content of the template, and in our case it's an empty template. So that's the first step that we want to do, and the second step is that we want to prepend the created article to the list of articles. So to do this, we will go on the index view and we will wrap this in a div of ID articles. So this way we will be able to easily target the list of articles, and what we want to say is we want to create another TurboStream HTML tag, and this time it has the target of articles and the action of prepend. And what we want to do is to prepend the template. And what will be the template? The template will be render partial. The partial is articles, article partial, with as locals we want to render this partial with article equal to the created article, and we want to render it with the HTML format. Because right now we are in the TurboStream view, so the format is TurboStream, and the articles article partial doesn't exist with the TurboStream format. So we need to specify the format. So let's try it and see if it works. So I'm going to refresh the page, delete the articles that we have. So we only have one article, and I'm going to create the second article. And when I press save here, as we can see, the form disappeared and the second article was prepended to the list. So if we have a look at the network tab, we can see that the response was the content here of this specific view. And the TurboStream HTML tags are special HTML tags that are understood by the Turbo JavaScript library and that execute some actions. For example, we can update the content of a div with an empty template, and we can prepend to a specific target some HTML that is defined within the template. So this is how it works under the hood, and of course this is not a very nice API, so in future videos we will learn how to improve this, but just for now we're going to finish what we started. So we're just going to create an update.turbostream.erb view, and this time we're going to say that in the update we want to replace the target will be equal to the DOM ID of the article, of the updated article, and we want to render the partial with the updated article. So let's also update the controller, and it will actually be exactly the same, right? When we have an HTML request, then we want to redirect to the articles path, and when we have a TurboStream request, what we want to do is to render this view. So to replace the article form with the actual article. So let's test it and try to edit the second article. I'm going to add a few exclamation marks here, and let's save it. And as we can see here, the response was the replace action on the specific target, so with the DOM ID of the article. And last but not least, we can create a destroy TurboStream ERB view. And this time, what we want to do is to create a TurboStream HTML element. The action will be equal to the DOM ID of the destroyed article, and so that's the target. Target will be equal to this, and the action is remove. So let's refresh the page, and when we click on, oh sorry, I didn't update the controller, so let's have a look here, and we'll say that we want to respond to the format, and if the format of the request is HTML, we'll redirect, else we will render the TurboStream view. Let's click on delete, and as we can see, the response is the remove action, and if we inspect the console, everything seems to work as expected, except those kind of errors, but they are not related to what we're doing right now, so it's fine. So that's it for this video. In this video, we learned how to register a custom MIME type or media type, and to respond to a specific MIME type with a specific view. And in the next video, we will learn how to make this HTML a bit more easy to write with a nice API.